Thank you for all you do for the kids of our district and our teachers and everybody else. So first, on the agenda here is approval of the agenda. And Amy sent everybody the agenda ahead of time. I'll be happy to entertain a motion that we approve the agenda as presented.
Also moved.
Are there any objections to the agenda? Okay, then we'll accept the agenda as presented. Next, we'll have approval of the minutes. And everybody should have a copy of the minutes from our meeting that was held on Thursday, July the 9th. And we'll give you a chance to look them over. And I'll be happy to entertain a motion that we approve the minutes as presented when you're ready.
Dr. Hilton,
Yes, ma'am.
we need to delay for about 5 minutes.
Okay. All right,
We need to
well,
delay
we'll
for about
stop.
5 minutes. Can
We'll
you?
just start right where, do we need to start over at the beginning or just stop where we are?
Yeah, we need to delay for about 5 minutes. We may need to start back over, so hold just a moment.
Okay, no problem.
We're just gonna pause, for the meeting, for the, video, we'll have to pause for about 5 to 10 minutes for technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties on YouTube.
Yes, sir. Are we still?
I'm sorry you're having difficulties with the traffic.
Dr.
So,
Hilton, you want to, announce what board members are, online right now?
Sure. All right, so this is the Sumter School District Finance Committee meeting for Thursday, August 20th. The board members that we have present are myself, Johnny Hilton, Sean Reagan, and Cheryl Ray is joining us via telephone. The rest of us are on Zoom. District folks that we have are Amy Hampson, Dr. Penelope Martin Knox, Superintendent, Shelley Galloway, Veron Davis, Brenda Hafner, and Jennifer Miller. And the community member that we have in attendance is Bobby Anderson. So we thank all of y'all for being here today. You have received a copy of the agenda. If there are no objections, we will proceed with the agenda as presented. Do I hear any objections or changes to the agenda? Hearing, seeing none, then we'll proceed on to the next item on the agenda, which is the approval of the minutes. You've all received a copy of the minutes. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, we'll accept the minutes as presented. Moving down to item 2.1. Item 2, review of financial reports. Item 2.1, procurement audit. We'll call on Ms. Miller to give us a report on the procurement audit. Jennifer?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, Dr. Hilton, committee members, and Superintendent Dr. Martin Knox. Real briefly, the procurement audit for June 30th, 2019 has been completed, and just to let the Finance Committee know, that will be presented at the board meeting on Monday night, August 24th, and it was a favorable report. That's really all I had on that one. Would you like to go on to the next section, Dr. Hilton? You're muted. I'm sorry, sir.
Thank you. Well, I was just pleased to see that the auditor said that in all material respects, we met all the requirements of the year being audited, so that was good news. No irregularities, no recommendations, and in the past, we have had some issues and we have had some recommendations, but this year, everything appears to be going well with the procurement procedures in our district, which is good news.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Yes. Anybody else have any questions or comments about the report from Robin Poston, our auditor? All right.
Yeah,
Go ahead. Does somebody have something to say?
so not at this time.
Oh, okay. Very good. Well, then moving on to the next item, Jennifer.
Yes, sir. We're going to talk about two different periods of time here. We're going to talk about the June 30th, 2020 general revenue and expenditure, and then also the July 31st statement. So first, we'll start with June 30th. You have the information in front of you. There hasn't been much of a change in the revenue since the last report that was provided to the board. We still do need to record the year-end tax adjustments. And then I did receive checks from the county and the state yesterday related to taxes. So we need to get those as recorded as well. But right now, the fiscal year 20 projected revenue is $129,974,646. Are there any questions on the revenue? Okay. Moving over to the expenditures, the change in expenditure projection from last month is approximately $2 million decrease in expenditures. As the budgets are managed by various departments, the original projections that have been provided to the board were with a spending modification where we were trying to have expenditures just for necessities, and we're happy to report that we were able to do that, and that is why you see a decrease in the projected expenditures. If you look in the right column, the total expected projection of expenditures is $125,598,246. And if you go down to the bottom there, you can see the projected change in the fund balance for June 30th, 2020 is approximately $6.8 million. Are there any questions? We still have many year-end adjustments that will be made that could result in additional expenditures. As we continue closing out the balance sheet as well, we'll have to adjust some of the payroll liabilities and the correlating payroll expenditures. So these numbers will change slightly again, and I'll keep providing a report each month as we progress through the closeout.
So Jennifer, what this is telling us is we're going to end up with a fund balance of $21 million for the 1920 school year. For the
Yes, sir.
2019-2020 school year.
Yes, sir.
And what do you attribute the decrease in spending to? Because we were closed those months in March and we've been closed this summer, or what?
It is a combination of we were closed. We do have some cost savings by being physically closed. Additionally, we did ask department heads and principals to really only spend on necessities. And so we were very, very mindful there. We were very strict with what we were spending.
Very good. Does anyone else have any comments or questions about the end of the year statement here that we're looking at for the year 2019-2020?
I'll say it's a pleasure to see a number like that in the black from what in the past we've done. We were doing really well, and I'm very pleased to see, and my hats off to Ms. Miller and Ms. Martin Knox for getting us there.
Any other questions or comments? If not, then moving on, Amy, to the next item.
We'll actually move to the July 31st Statement of Revenue and Expenditures. As you know, we did pass the continuing resolution that carried the fiscal year 2020 budget over to fiscal year 2021. So right now, the budget is standing as the exact same budget as the prior year. For the projected, I did change one budget line item, which was your 3992 State Forest Commission. That check has been received, and the amount was $256,127, so that's $256,000, which was $21,000 more than budgeted. And as far as the actual expenditures, I have the July 31st numbers in there, but I have not changed any of the projected payroll amounts. As you know, 90% of our budget is in payroll, and it's too soon to project those numbers with the first payroll with the teacher's salaries, which starts at the end of this month. So as we continue forward, I will keep modifying those projections and keep you up to date.
So, how many teacher vacancies do we have at this moment in time?
So good afternoon, Dr. Hilton and members of the committee. The last time I checked, there were 41, but every day we are continuing to fill those vacancies. But we're also losing teachers, some to medical reasons and others to retirement. So the last time I checked, it was 41. But that number again fluctuates daily. Dr. Kumis, are you on the line? He's not one. So the last time I checked, it was 41, Dr. Hilton.
Okay. Are how many, and of course that impacts our expenditures because certified teachers cost us more than subs, but we want a certified teacher. We want to fill all those 41. But I'm just asking that from a financial standpoint. But we do need to try to fill all 41 of those. Do we have any idea how many teachers may be working virtually at home because of requests or medical conditions or such as that this coming year?
Yes, sir. That number changes daily as well as Dr. Kumis and his team continue to support our teachers regarding their individual needs. And I believe the last time I checked, there were 26 requests. Now, I don't know how many of them will be granted, but it's 26 at this time.
Okay. Does anyone else have any questions or comments about the July 31 statement of revenue and expenditures? Okay. Let's see, what's next on our agenda here? Capital projects, is that right, Jennifer?
Yes, sir. We're going to talk about the June 30th, 2020 and the July 31st. I'm going to really focus on the July 31st. The June 30th has been adjusted, so at that moment in time, this is what is reflected. But as there are encumbrances that are not completed prior to June 30th, we have to roll those over into the new year. So the more reflective balances are in the July 31st numbers. But I did provide the June 30th for the board to look at. But if we could go to the July, I think it gives a better picture of where we stand currently with the capital projects because it does include those encumbrances. And so when you look at the July 31st, you have funds 519 through 524. 524 is the newest bond we have, so that is very limited activity in that one yet, but we are working diligently to get those projects started and completed. And if you have any particular questions on anything, I'm happy to take those.
So what you're saying is we have actually rolled some money over from this 519
Yes.
Explain that to me one more time.
Sure, if you look at the June 30th, you can see the far right column shows there's 339,572,000 remaining for projects. And then if you look at the July 31st, you can see the first column for the budget roll forward has that same 339,572. Last time we met, you'll remember that we had almost all of these funds spent or encumbered. If you look at the July statement, and the encumbrance column is where you see that 321,000, leaving a remaining balance of approximately 17,000. That's why I'm looking at the July, because if you look back at the June, it looks like we still have 339,000 to spend, but we actually only have 17,000 to spend. And that's because those encumbrances had to be rolled forward.
Thank you for that explanation.
No problem. Any other questions?
Any other questions or comments before?
Well, are those projects on schedule for the school year, in case we get back into full, attendance?
Understand the question you're asking, if the projects are on schedule, sir?
On schedule to be, in other words, none of it's gonna hold the school opening up should the superintendent say. Okay.
No, sir, none of the projects will hold the opening of the school.
It looks like they're about to wrap it up at Millwood on the roof over there. Is that projected to be finished?
The update I have on
Keep
that.
grinning, Sheriff.
The update I have on that says that the roofing project is substantially complete with minor finishes, cleanup, and ground repairs left to be done. Consultants project less than 20 days left to complete.
Very good, thank you.
You're welcome.
So next, I see you have what I asked for.
Yes, sir.
Lord, thank you for that. And you certainly do have lots of detail.
Yes, sir. And I really didn't, it's about 41 pages, so I don't even have it printed out in front of me, but if you have any questions on that, I'm happy to take those.
No, but I did look it over, and it is very informative, and I appreciate you providing that for us. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So is there any other discussion or questions regarding the review of financial reports presented by Ms. Miller at this time? If not, then our agenda calls for us to go into executive session. So I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session for the discussion of contractual and personnel matters, receipt of legal advice, including related to a pending, threatening, or potential claim. Is there a motion?
I so move.
Is there a second? We need a second if we're going to go into executive session. Well, hearing no second, then I suppose we won't go into executive session. Is that the desire of this group at this time? Okay. Is there any other business anybody wants to discuss? Bob, you look like you want to say something.
Nothing more than it sounds like we've gotten a good report, and I'm very happy with the way things are going financially. And the other thing is I've spoken to, by just chance, not intentionally, but just bumping into people that are downtown with the county council and the county administrator, and they are very encouraged by what they're seeing from our finance director and what we've got going on now. So that's great. So I'm happy to see that we're getting accolades for what we're doing. And as we get through this pandemic, maybe we'll be in a position to, ask county council those for some funding as we move forward.
I think that we certainly are exhibiting good stewardship of the funds that we have available to us at this time. We're just a step in the right direction.
Fresh breath, a breath of fresh air, I should say.
Amy,
Yes,
is it appropriate if I ask what happened last night at the All-America City thing? How'd we come out on that deal?
yes, sir, it really isn't an agenda item, so,
Okay, then. Well, we'll have to talk later, I suppose. You're too hard on us, Amy. Is there any further business or discussion at this time? Hearing none, then we will adjourn if there's no objection to adjournment. Thank you all again for your service to the students and teachers and parents of Sumter School District. Hope you have a safe afternoon and stay well. Everybody be safe and well. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, John.